All right, guys, this is Rico with Vortex Inspection Group and Cyclone Plumbing. Can I get an applause? All right, so thank you. So, what I want to talk about today is the real estate home buying process. Okay, as many as you know, uh, I'm a licensed real estate agent. I'm also a certified home inspector and Um, I run a successful plumbing company as well, Cyclone Plumbing. So it's 2026. The market is going to change. It's according to industry experts. It's going to be very good to buy a house. It's always been good. I've always believed that when is the best time to buy a house? Whenever you're ready, because it doesn't matter if the interest rates are at 3%. Um, but if you're not ready, you're not ready. And what does that mean? It means that you don't have the credit, you don't have the down payment, you don't have anything that's gonna put you in a house, and vice versa. You could have the credit, you could have um, the work history, but you don't have the down payment. So there's a lot of factors at play. But as far as when you buy a house, um, it doesn't matter how crazy the market gets. I would never buy a house without having it properly inspected. I've been listening to a lot of social media realtors talking about prices, and I want to address that. Prices on the home inspection. I saw this realtor the other day saying that a home inspection should cost between $300 and $400. Maybe for a very small condominium under 1,000 square feet, possibly $400. But the average house, it's somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet. Obviously, there's houses that are bigger, but a good home inspection fee, it starts at about $500 and it goes up from there. The pool is another expense. The sewer is another expense. Indoor air quality is another expense. So the thing is this, that um, people are moving into these houses when the market is crazy without having it inspected, and that could backfire extremely. I remember doing a home inspection at one house in Newport Beach, and they skipped on the sewer inspection. They got all the inspections, they have everything else, but they skipped on the sewer inspections, and that ended up costing them about $30,000. Not even a week after they moved in the house, they experienced sewer backups, and it cost them about $30,000 out of their pocket because they just closed escrow 2 weeks ago, and the warranty doesn't kick in, and homeowners insurance doesn't kick in. And the thing about home warranties now, what I know about home warranties is it covers the home. It covers the plumbing in the home. It covers the plumbing under the house. It does not cover the plumbing outside the house. That's why sewer inspections are very, very, very important. Now, many of you don't want to get the sewer inspection because the sewer inspection is going to cost you somewhere between 250 and 350 between 250 and $350, and it goes up from there. And, and what I mean when it goes up from there is one sewer inspection, the main line, and then the house may have multiple cleanouts, and clients like to have that inspected as well. Well, obviously that takes time, so we we charge extra for that. But yes, I would work especially with a real estate agent that will not deter you from getting a home inspection. There's a lot of realtors out there that will deter you from getting a home inspection because, oh, you really want the house? Well, we're going to have to waive the home inspection. They'll tell the client in a way that it's it's like their choice. They word it, they package it to where it was a buyer that decided, not the realtor, which I think that's not good. I think that's shady. But nevertheless, because the realtor wants the commission, they move in and then the buyer starts experiencing problems, hidden problems. I've done inspections where it's immaculate. The house is perfect. The sewer inspection is good. Everything is great. But once I go in the attic, I discover fire damage. Yep, fire damage. If they would have bought that house, they could have gone in the attic to add ceiling fans. The electrician might go up there, and there's no um I mean, they discover fire damage. It's like, wait a minute. If it was discovered afterwards, they have no recourse for them to do anything. And that has happened. And we also done inspections where the seller claims that the sewer inspection is not necessary because they just had the sewer replaced. Well, do you have a receipt? Yes, they have receipts, they have everything. And I asked them, do you have before and after videos? Because a plumbing company will record before and after. They said no. I said, okay. So the buyers decided, you know what? I want to get the sewer inspection. I want to see if it really got replaced. Perfect. It did not. It wasn't replaced. The seller was furious because he had done that allegedly 5 years ago. Well, sewer inspection wasn't done. I mean, the sewer inspection wasn't done with like before and after, according to the plumber that did the job. So there's a lot of things that happen in houses that a lot of realtors don't see, buyers don't see. So you want to hire a professional that knows what they're looking for and explains to you what the issue is and give you direction on how to proceed with the repairs. Now, this message, what I'm about to say, is for the buyers. If you're buying a house, okay, and you have to look at the items that come out in the report. We as home inspectors, we have to tell you everything that we found, even small cosmetic items. When you buy a house, you want to look at five major items. Well, there's actually six. So you want to look at the roof, electrical, plumbing, heating and air, and structural, and health and safety, which means, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and whatnot. If those five systems, six with the health and safety, are in great shape, everything else is cosmetic. So, what a lot of buyers want to do is that what they do is that they tell their realtor, and I said, I want everything done. Well, you're in the contingency period. The seller has the right to cancel. The seller has the same right that you have to cancel the transaction. If they see that you're being um, unrealistic, granted, a broken window, we recommend to have it replaced. We recommend to have a lot of things replaced, but we have to give the benefit of the doubt to the seller to have it repaired. Now, what does a repair look like? They could hire a handyman. The state of California just passed a law that before any handyman can repair anything up to $600. Now they um, up this amount to 1,000. So now a handyman can do work up to $1,000 without having a contractor's license. But keep in mind that the seller's on his way out. He's not going to get it done correctly. He's not. Unless it's something big, right? Like an AC or water heater. Obviously, if it needs to be replaced, you're going to see a new system. So I highly recommend that you ask yourself, what's going to stop me from buying this house? And concentrate on that. Even if it's less than $5,000, let's just say for this, for the sake of this conversation, let's just say it's $5,000 that it needs the house. Well, I would rather take those $5,000 in credit. I'll take a credit and your realtor is gonna tell you what that looks like. It's gonna go towards your closing costs. They're gonna lower the price. You are not gonna get a check at the end of the transaction. Here's your 5,000. No, they're gonna lower the price. They're going to probably leave the washer and dryer that you don't that they just bought a year ago. They're gonna probably leave something that's 5,000. Always take a credit versus having the seller repairing it. It's the repair's not gonna. It's not gonna. It's not gonna look good. It's not gonna benefit you because what I've done is the buyer calls me and said, "Hey, they say that they repaired this. How much is it gonna cost for you to go out there?" 50% of the inspection. So if the inspection was $600, I'm charging $300. To a lot of people, it means, well, that's a lot of money. Well, I'm still going to put you on the schedule. It's still going to take me the time to go out there. It's still going to take me time to look at the items and make sure it was done correctly. And that's what. Sometimes I go out there and nothing got done. Nothing got done. The seller is misleading the buyer and saying, yeah, we got it done. And it was never done. It was never done. It never happens. Very few, yes. And or they say, yeah, we got it done, but they only got 7 out of 10 items. And they got to pay me again to go back out there again. So a $600 inspection ends up being 1,200. So that's why I say just take the credit, and use that and hire your own contractor, your own person that you trust. And a good realtor would advise you on doing such that. Many realtors don't want to recommend anything because they don't want to get sued because they recommended you a a contractor, a home inspector. And honestly, I think you should work with a realtor that's going to recommend you the right people. There's a stigma about realtors. Oh, I'm going to get sued. I've never seen a case in the United States where the judge looks at the realtor and says, "Oh, did you recommend him? Did you recommend your client three home inspectors, three um, insurance companies?" Yes, I did. Okay, case dismissed against you. No, you're still getting sued. The judge is not going to throw the case out just because you gave him three recommendations. It doesn't happen. So why not work with the realtor that has good relationships with the community, with home inspectors, with contractors? Because home inspectors and contractors, we know that if we have a client that is a realtor, they're going to keep sending us business. So when we will take care of that client. Many realtors don't do that. I've talked to a lot of realtors at networking events that, I introduce myself as a home inspector and they're like, "Oh, I'm looking for one." Okay. Um, perfect. My follow-up question to that is, how long have you been in the business? Oh, I've been in real estate for 30 years, 20 years, 10 years. Why are you looking for a home inspector? Sometimes a realtor is a problem. Sometimes a realtor is a problem, and to me, that's a red flag. I would like to work with this person, but then after the first or second inspection, I'm going to realize why. Because there's a lot of realtors that like to control everything and they like to tell the home inspector how to write the report. Well, not with me. Not with me. I I don't I don't play those games. I'm not going to put myself in a position where in the event of a lawsuit, which I've been sued and I've won. I've won, but when that happens and I reach out to the realtor, they're like, "Well, I can't talk to you. My broker said I can't talk to you because this case is in our legal department now." Well, that's unfair. That's unfair, but nevertheless, that's what that is. And also, um, yeah, just work with a good realtor, guys. If you're buying a house, that's going to take care of you, that's going to look out for your best interest, that's going to make sure that you have the best home inspector, the best insurance company, the best contractor. Everything is the best. If they're the best, then they're going to have to work with contractors that reflect them. It's an extension of their team. So that's what I would do if I were to buy a home in. I don't want to say just buy a house in 2026. It's anytime, anytime. You have to buy a house when it's ready, when you're ready, when you're ready, and a good inspection investment, home inspection, sewer inspection, indoor air quality inspection, termite inspections, chimney inspections. It's a small price to pay. It's a small price to pay to to make sure that you're getting a good sound home. Guys, keep in mind, nobody takes care of their house unless it's breaking down. I have a toilet right now in my house. I just realized that it's leaking. I'm going to take care of that. But how many people have leaking toilets that they don't take care of it because the plumber's going to charge a lot of money? Well, luckily, I know how to do that kind of stuff. And and speaking of that, I did a home inspection, and the guy selling it was an electrical contractor. Beautiful house, had a beautiful ADU in the back, beautiful pool. It was in Temecula. It was a nice house, like one of those nice ones. And I went up in the attic, and there was a lot of electrical exposed wires. They were not in the junction box. If they were in the junction box, the cover was missing. It had a lot of electrical unfinished business. And he wasn't happy because he paid one of his guys to go up there. Well, whoever went up there knew that this guy was not going to be up there because he trusted him. Well, that backfired on that guy. I don't know what happened, if he got fired or what, but nevertheless, you have to have your homes inspected regardless. I remember one story. Um, this happened years ago, but I read this story. There was this couple that bought a beautiful house. Beautiful house. This house was gorgeous, and the the seller was a home builder, and he beautiful house. These people, husband and wife, they bought this house cash. Well, they bought the house cash, closed everything, for sale by owner kind of thing. Well, what happened was it w- it was a barn, like a storage shed turned into a house. So yes, it did had an address. The lot had an address. It had running water. It had everything, but it wasn't recorded as a family, as a residential family. Am I saying it right? It's a residential family dwelling. So it was a barn. It was a barn that was turned into a house. Now, I don't know if they got an inspected or not. I don't think they did. But now, what would an inspection would have changed something? Well, we home inspectors will always go online and look for houses. I mean, what's the address? I could look it up and get the information. A home inspector would have probably got online and discovered that it wasn't it wasn't a house. It was just a lot or a barn with an address. But nevertheless, it's there's a lot of benefits of getting a home inspection. So don't skip on your home inspection. Whether you use somebody like me, you hire me, or you hire somebody else, and ask questions. Ask questions. Now, how do you pick a home inspector? Well, you pick your home inspector by asking them the questions, and each question is different because I've had clients that call me and they ask me for if I do radon inspections. Um, well, in California, there is radon gas, but not dangerous levels. Maybe excuse me, in Northern California, when the gold miners in 1849, maybe in Northern California, radon is more prevalent than Southern California. So, I always, if they ask me, do you check the sewer? Do you check this? it's a good indicator based on the questions that they ask is the experience that they had in their previous homes, and they want to make sure that they don't repeat those problems. And also, if you ask a home inspector what's your pet peeve in the house, they're probably going to inspect that system of the house more closely than the rest. They're not going to overlook the rest. My pet peeve is water intrusion, plumbing, health and safety. That doesn't mean I'm going to overlook the roof, the mechanical, which is heating and air, the foundation. I'm going to look at everything. So if your home inspector says, "Oh, my background is in electrical," well, you know that he's going to look at the electrical much closer. If his background is in, almost a general contractor, he's going to look at the structural closer than anything else. So, so yeah. So that being said, guys, let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys want to know more about. And yeah, just give me a call, 951-202-4492. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. God bless you.